Welcome to Trust and Obey with Chuck Frank. This is The Big Lie, Part 2. If you didn't hear Part 1, here's a brief synopsis. It is almost sunset on the evening of Good Friday. Jesus is dead and hanging on the cross. Joseph of Arimathea goes to speak to Pilate and says he would like to take Jesus' body down and put it in a tomb that he has. Pilate says, go ahead. So Joseph does that, and then the following morning, the high priests come before him and say, hey, what if his disciples come and steal the body away? We should post a guard. We should seal the tomb. Otherwise, this story about this guy's going to go on and on and on. So here's part 2. On the next day, Saturday, which followed the day of preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees gathered together to Pilate, saying, Sir, we remember while he was still alive how that deceiver said, after 3 days I will rise. Therefore, command that the tomb be made secure until the 3rd day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away and say to the people, he has risen from the dead. So the last deception will be worse than the first. Pilate said to them, you have a guard. Go your way. Make it as secure as you know how. So they went and made the tomb secure, sealing the stone and setting the guard. So, what's going on here? Well, you can see how the demons operate. They know what they would do if they were in this situation that the Christians were. They'd say, hey, we're not going to lose our power. We're going to go steal the body, stash it away somewhere, and then we'll tell everyone, look, he's gone. He rose from the dead. And then they're going to have this whole religion based on a lie, right? That's what the demons would do. That's what they do in our government today. That's what they do in the legacy media today. So they're not creative. They're just doing what demons have done from thousands of years ago. So it says, on the next day, the day of preparation, the chief priests, the Pharisees gathered together to Pilate. And they go, Sir, we remember when he was still alive, how that deceiver, they won't even call him by his name, right? It's like the way they deal with Trump. He's a rapist. He's a racist. He's a cheater. He's cheater in business. He's all these things that they're employing their lawfare against him. But the lawfare is not working. And notice what followed the progression after the lawfare. Now, 2 attempts against his life. They're not creative. They're doing exactly what the Sanhedrin did. They said, hey, he's messing with our money thing. Rich people are leaving our congregation and they're joining him. And this guy needs to be taken out. And this is the same thing that our government, our DOJ, the FBI, the Secret Service, they have all decided that Donald Trump needs to be taken out. That's the only solution that they have now. So he goes, we remember when the deceiver said, after 3 days, I will rise. Jesus told all of them that I'm going to die, I'm going to go away for a little bit, and then on the 3rd day, I'm going to rise from the dead. And it says, therefore, command that the tomb be made secure until the 3rd day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away and say to the people, he has risen from the dead. So the last deception, meaning that he rose from the dead, will be worse than the first, which is he claimed to be the Son of God. He actually claimed to be God. We want to make sure that nobody can say that. So go and set a guard, maybe a half a dozen guys around the tomb entrance, and take a wet piece of clay and stick it between the exterior wall of the tomb and the rock that they've rolled in front of it, and then press an official seal into the damp clay, and it'll dry out very fast in an arid country like that. And then if anyone budges that rock at all, trying to roll it away, it'll shatter the seal, and somebody's going to be in very big trouble. So this is the beginnings of the big lie. They don't understand what's going to happen. Jesus will rise from the dead, and it'll be documented, and he'll be seen by over 500 people. And you can't found a religion that allows you to go any place on the earth and find a church on a lie that the disciples stole the body away. But here is Paul talking to us again. And I would say, what does God want from us? Because ultimately, this is still the same battle. It's a battle between good and evil. But for us, it's coming to a head. In 5 weeks, evil will be on full display. If you haven't seen it already, if your eyes are open, you know how much evil is all around us. If you're one of these blinking, sleepy people who will not make the decision, listen up, because Paul is saying you need to be simple concerning evil. And if you're one of these Christians who never registers to vote, you're going to answer before God about that. Here's what God wants. God wants us to focus on the good, not be preoccupied with what might be bad, what might be evil. You can't, if you're still sitting and wondering, is it right for us to be sexualizing our children and stealing their innocence when they're supposed to be at school learning reading, writing, and arithmetic? Is that really a debate? It shouldn't be a debate. Is it right when our government says you're going to lose your job unless you take a shot that you may not want, and then that shot ends up killing and disabling millions of people and is still making people sick to this day? And the information's all being repressed by the legacy media and the medical establishment and our own government. They won't tell you the truth about it, so that you see little kids and sports stars and people dropping dead and people who looked healthy and all of a sudden they got turbo brain cancer. How many people you have to see with that before you wake up and understand what Paul is saying? Be simple concerning evil. You're going to lose this battle in about 5 weeks if you don't wake up and if you don't get simple concerning evil. And God wants us to focus on the good, not be preoccupied with what might be evil. So if you're a blue Christian out there and you think you can bring everything into your vote and you're going to be cool with God, you're not. You're going to answer to him. And if you're a Christian and you're not voting, you're going to answer to him, because you're allowing evil to take over this country. And there was so much sacrifice made for this country. And there was so much evidence of the hand of God over this country. But for 50, 60 years now, we've been complacent. And what's the result? Look around. Look at your own receipts when you go to the grocery store. Look at the fact that nobody has a sense of what the future is in this country. And we all used to believe that the future was simple. It was going to get better. And our children were going to have a better shot than we had. And we had a better shot than our parents had. And now that's not the case. In the whole developed world, we're the one with the most rapidly declining health and age expectancy. How does that happen? It happens by design. It happens by evil taking over. Sleepy people need to wake up.